Hi everyone, it's the EnglishSimmer here, and today we are taking a little cheeky gander down memory lane. We're going to be having a look at the Sims revolution that has currently been happening over on Twitter.com. If you haven't seen it, if you aren't a Simmer on Twitter, a bunch of people have just started making like random NPC accounts, objects that we've used to have in the games, tools that we used to have, systems, anything that's kind of missing from The Sims 4 currently. Obviously, the one and only Jessie, aka Plumbella, her brain is much more wrinkly than mine. She is like a wizard when it comes to knowing about lore. She's a whore for lore. I will link her videos down below because she's done a few talking about these. She also brought back her entire history of, which I am so damn happy about, and she goes into like a bit more detail, but I thought I would do my own spin on The Sims Revolution. So big thank you to all of the accounts. I have stolen your profile pictures, but you stole them from the Sims game before, so you know what? You can't copyright claim me. No DMCA for you. DCMA? DMCA? I always think YMCA, and I think it's DCA, and I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna be tier ranking some of the items, NPCs, objects that I've seen on The Sims Revolution and like talk about whether I would like to see them in the future of The Sims 4 or maybe even The Sims 5. I know some of these accounts have been like mean to other Simmers and stuff, and there's been a little bit of like arguments here and there and name calling, and I'm not about that. I tried to avoid the ones that I knew that like had been brought up on my timeline who had been involved in stuff like that. I apologize if any of them did slip through the net. That is my bad. Just like keep it nice, guys. Keep it civil with one another. Like, we're all fans of the game. No matter how you play, a lot of people play differently. They've all played different iterations. I will save this to tier maker, so if you want to do your own, I'll link this down below and you can reply to me on twitter.com/EnglishSimmer if you want to over there. So we're gonna start off with Bigfoot, who I can't even remember what expansion. Maybe Bon Voyage? I'll hold my hands up and say I didn't play Bon Voyage too much. When you actually find him in the world, you can become friends with him. You can also ask him to move in with you. He works a little bit differently to like actual Sims. If his needs get too low, he kind of throws like a little hissy fit, which honestly I can relate to. But I know if he was brought back in The Sims 4, he'd probably be like a costume like the bears, and honestly, I don't miss him that much. I don't really feel as if my game needs him. Charles the Evil Chicken, who you probably don't know about unless you had the chicken coop, which was actually part of the Sims 3 store. Rest in peace. Can we get a moment of silence for the Sims 3 store? Honestly, I really want farming in the Sims 4. I want a form of like cows and chickens and like other farm animals, so therefore why the heck is Charles the Evil Chicken not in my Sims 4 game? Chip the Dancer. This is one of my favorite accounts. Chip, if you do not know, Sims 1 was absolutely wild when I think back on it. Like, I was playing this at 6 years old, and there was a ton of stuff that I probably shouldn't have known about at that age, but you used to be able to buy this like tiered birthday cake, and there were basically strippers inside. They didn't take off their clothes, but they came out wearing like a little dicky bow and shorts, and then the girls had like, I think they had bikinis on, and they do a dance for your sim if you bought this birthday cake. He was a lot of fun, I will say, very just random, and therefore I'm gonna put Chip in Crumple Bottom. Like, I would like to see it, but it's not entirely game-changing. I definitely think like this would have been a fun addition for the 20th anniversary. Let's not talk about the hot tub. Mrs. Crumplebottom, the one and only. She is not going in Crumplebottom, even though her name may suggest it. She is going straight in to Motherlode, the icon of The Sims. I am so gutted she wasn't introduced in Nifty Knitting. I think it would have been the perfect pack for her to be reintroduced as an NPC. She used to like stalk around downtown, and if your Sims were like flirting with each other, she'd be like, "This is inappropriate," and you'd like get smacked with her handbag that you definitely know was filled with like hard, crusty Werther's Originals, and I miss her so damn much. Go-go dancer, dancing cage, again, another really weird object of The Sims 1. You can definitely tell it was the 2000s when this game came out, but honestly, it takes me back. If you live in Newcastle or you went to Newcastle University, you will know exactly what Sinners is, and it takes me back to my university days and dancing in the Sinners cage. I think it's fun, but honestly, like, I don't really need it in my game, and therefore it's gonna join Bigfoot. The Sims 3 horses, we all know how I feel about them. You would expect me to put this in Tragic Clown, I know. I always say, like, I don't want horses, I don't need horses back. However, I think they would be fun if they were done better than The Sims 3. I only have an issue with horses because of their autonomy. I think the autonomy and the routing of Sims 3 horses was absolutely crap. And I know so many people are like, we don't need horses in The Sims 4. They use the same argument as we don't need cars. It's not an open world. There's nowhere to take a horse. But I think, like, racing horses, even though I don't agree with it in real life, but this is a video game, I think that's really fun, and I think if we do have a farming pack, I would expect horses to be in there. The Sims 3 Imaginary Friends. This NPC is done so damn dirty by the community, and I will never forgive you for that. Everyone talks about them being creepy. Everyone hates them. They're like, oh my god, they make me feel so uncomfortable. I love imaginary friends. I think they add such a cute personality to your kids. Loads of people like age them up and they like fell in love with their imaginary friends. It was very cute. I really enjoy imaginary friends. They're gonna go into Rosebud. This is actually the Sims lore. That was the account that I took this photo from, so we're just gonna imagine this is lore. And there isn't really any lore in The Sims 4. I don't think they'll introduce lore. I think it's far too long down the line now. Would I like to see the lore return in The Sims 5? Absolutely. I didn't actually think The Sims 3 had that great a lore, if I'm being completely honest. Like, Sims 3 was in a weird timeline when it came to The Sims. I would like The Sims 5 to go back to The Sims 2. So therefore, it's going into Motherload. I think we need lore. The heart-shaped shag bed. I love this item. It's one of like my favorite throwback items. This and the Love Heart hot tub. This actually had a vibration setting, and yeah, you catch the drift. It was the love shack of The Sims 1. Again, I think this would be a really cute item to have brought back for an anniversary. Am I gonna really use it that much? Probably not. I used it as a kid because I had no, like, color concept whatsoever. I didn't create rooms that I personally would like to live in. I just had a lot of fun. I think it's a cute novelty item, and therefore it's going in Grim Reaper. Newspapers. I really enjoy newspapers. Do I feel like we need them in The Sims 4? No. Do I feel like we should have some version of it in The Sims 4? Yes. We basically have an iPad. We have a tablet in The Sims 4, and the fact that you can't like read the newspaper on it is really strange to me. So I think newspapers should be in the game, like reading a newspaper on the computer or reading it on your pad and like on your pad. Just imagining a Sim sat on the toilet looking at their like pad being like, okay, I'm reading my daily star sign. Okay, moving on. Burglars. Oh my word. I still honestly can't believe that we don't have burglars in The Sims 4. I want that panic in my chest that I used to feel when a burglar was coming onto my lot. I miss it. I miss my game having that like, oh my god, I'm about to die, even though I know it's not going to kill me, it's going to steal my stuff. The social bunny, who was introduced in The Sims 2, basically would visit your sim. Kind of worked the same way as an imaginary friend did, like only the sim who like owned that social bunny and it spawned for was the only one who could see it. You could interact with it to get your social need up. Still kind of really creepy as well. Like I, as a kid, used to be freaked out by the social bunny because it's like one of its eyes has fallen off. It looks like it belongs in Five Nights at Freddy. I do like it, but I don't think it's like super game changing. Social workers, no. Tragic clown for me. I'm sorry to say it. I'm sorry to all you children. But one, like, babies are objects. And two, like, I just don't really see the need for social workers, if I'm being completely honest. I know a lot of people are like, I want social workers back. I'm really not fazed by them. They basically used to come if your kid had really low needs and you weren't looking after your child. They'd basically be taken away by a social worker. I've actually never tested it in The Sims 4 to see what happens. I assume they just spawn off the lot. Spiral staircases. I really want spiral staircases back. I love when your Sims used to be able to slide down the banister. That's like the only reason I want them back. I think they're super versatile, especially in tiny homes. We got a pack which was all about tiny homes and we didn't get stairs that saved any space beyond me. But hey ho, I'll get over it eventually. The Sims 2? Therapist. Yeah, definitely Sims 2. So this is basically a sim. Kind of works the same way as Social Bunny does and spawns in when your like sim is just going out of control. Their aspiration points get far too low. They can't really deal with it anymore, and this sim spawns in and like tries to talk to them and figure something out and like shakes them up and is like, come on, you gotta get your shit together. Honestly, it hits a bit too close to home. I don't think this would go down well in this day and age. I think this is probably an NPC that like the game and like the wider world has sort of grown out of or grown away from. I just don't think it would have the same reception from like a lot of people. I think a large chunk of people would be like, I don't want this in my game. I just don't think we need it in future games, although I do miss him, so therefore he's gonna go in with like my other token fun suggestions. The Sims 2 wants and fears. I don't want to hear it. This was the best system we've ever had in the game. I don't want to hear it. I don't want you to tell me how you think The Sims 3 is better when it comes to like wants and wishes. I don't want to hear how you think The Sims 4 whims are like awful. I just want wants and fears. I think this like tied to your Sims personality so well. It like helped the game. It inspired people to like do things that were maybe outside of the box that they weren't really gonna do. I think it's definitely the best want system we have ever had, and I think The Sims 5 needs to go back to the drawing board when it comes to traits, emotions, whims, wants, whatever you want to call it. I think we should be looking at The Sims 2, how it did it. It did it perfectly. It tied everything together so well. There was that sense of family. There was that sense of your sim being their own individual person down to wants and fears, and therefore it should be in the game. The Sims 4 babies. I included this one because obviously we've been having a lot of conversations about babies being updated. You know, they are just objects. And I, for a while, was on board with this. Am I still on board with that theory? No. Hear me out. I think it's far too late in the Sims 4 life cycle. I just don't think it would change how we play with babies. I think majority of players would still age them up after like one sim day. I just think there's like more things that I would like to see in The Sims 4, and I can imagine freeing babies would take away from things that I want to see, and I don't think it's that much of a big deal. I think it was way more of a big deal before we had toddlers. Obviously, this one is inspired by Jessie. The Sims school bus. I really miss the school bus. I know Jessie talked about this in her entire history of. I don't really miss the bus too much. I miss like your kids coming back home from school on the bus, and like if they had like an A on their report card, if their report card went up, they'd like run to their parents and like show it off, and the parents could like applaud for them. I miss that element, so therefore it's going into Rosebud. This is auto roofing, which honestly, no one's gonna agree with me on this one, but I am not a builder. I proudly wear that badge. I want an auto roofing feature in The Sims 4. I know The Sims 4 makes it really easy. I know it's one of the best build systems we've ever had. Do I think that we should have auto roofing? Yes, for people like me who cannot be bothered to watch a roofing tutorial every single time we try to build. The Sims chemistry system absolutely should be in the game. I absolutely miss this. I think it would help once again with Sims having personalities. I think we should have a romantic attraction system. I genuinely miss it so much. The Sims family trees. I honestly can't really remember how previous games did family trees, but I just think The Sims 4 family trees are absolutely naff. So I would love to see family trees updated. Home videos, these came with generations. Your Sims used to be able to buy like a video recorder and like record their kids. I always used it for like toddlers' first steps, like when they were learning to walk. It was so cute. It's one of my favorite features to ever exist in the game. And I know it's kind of out of fashion. Well, not really, because people still vlog. Like watching it back on a video probably is out of fashion, like VCR, but like watching it back on a PC or something could very much fit in with the current generation of Sims, and I really want to see it return. The Sims 3 memories. I don't know how to feel about memories. I like memory systems in games. I think again, they add some personality. You can kind of look back on things and reminisce. However, I know The Sims 3 memory system added a lot of problems to the game because it just sort of bloated save files. I think if they figured out a better way to run memories, I would absolutely love to see it return. However, I don't use it all too often. Like, I am not one to like look over memories all the time, every single time I play. I think it's a nice system to have for some players. However, for me personally, it's not like the most important thing ever. We have the Sims 2 penguin, who I honestly forgot about until I went back and played the Sims 2 seasons on stream one time, and a penguin spawned outside my house, and basically he was just a little penguin that you could like talk to. I wish he was in the Sims 4 seasons. He doesn't really change gameplay whatsoever. You can't like have him as a pet or anything. He just pops up on your lot when it's cold and you can like talk to him, befriend him, and I think he's adorable. However, he's kind of average. I miss him, but he's kind of just there. Pool tables, I actually miss. I am always saying I would absolutely love an arcade pack for The Sims 4. I definitely think I'm in a small minority there, although I know this object would be so oversized in The Sims 4, so maybe I don't want it in The Sims 4. Star signs. Okay, I know, as a gay, I should be all into star signs, and I just kind of don't. I have CoStar, I read it every so often, but like, I don't really pay attention to star signs. I know what I am, because people always ask me, so I figured out what I was. And I do like it. I think it adds personality and like makes your Sims feel a bit different, but it doesn't really have any effect on them as a person. Like, it doesn't really affect their like how they act or anything. I think if they were done and implemented in a way where it did actually affect your Sims would be really, really cool. But the way that they were in The Sims 3, it was kind of just like a label that you could add to your Sim, like, oh yeah, he's definitely like this, and it wouldn't really have any effect on the gameplay. A tiny telescope. Why do we not have a telescope? Why is the only telescope we have in The Sims 4 still that big, oversized hunk of metal? Why have we never had a smaller telescope? Like, it's been almost 7 years and it still doesn't exist, and I miss aliens, for one, in The Sims 4. I know they're there, but I never use the telescope, so therefore I never really like encourage them to come to my lot unless I'm in the scientist career. And I think if we had like a more portable version of this and like an astrology skill, that would be amazing. I would love that. Absolutely. Drums, I really want bands. I really want bands. I really want bands. And finally, we have the trash compactor, which is honestly gonna go in Tragic Clown. Trash is in the name. I think this object is trash. I never use dishwashers in my game. I never have. I probably never will. They're just an object that I constantly forget about. Like, I use them if I have a big family. However, most of the time I just like drag my plates and stuff over to the sink or the bin anyway. I always forget that dishwashers exist. Trash compactors? I'm in England, for God's sakes. We don't use trash compactors. These things don't play a role in our normal day-to-day life. I'm never gonna remember that shit exists, so therefore I don't want it in my game. And there we have it. That is my ranking of the Sims revolution that is currently happening over on Twitter. Also, I would like to reiterate, if any of these are your account, please don't take offense from this video. I'm not saying that you don't matter as a person. It's purely how I feel about those objects and systems in the game and how much use I would get out of them. So please don't be offended. Fan accounts, please don't come for me. I swear, I love you all. You've brought some smiles to my face throughout lockdown, and for that, I can only thank you. And I love to see like Sims players getting involved, and I love when the community comes together on things, but obviously remember, respect everyone, respect their opinions. Their opinions for a reason. Everyone plays this game differently, like I always say. But thank you all so much for tuning into this video. I hope you enjoy. Like I said, this will be linked down below, so if you want to rank these yourself, send them over to me on Twitter. I would absolutely love to see how you guys rank these objects. I appreciate you all, and I will speak to you all in my next one. Bye now.